thought the opening was good too for Worlds this year. My friends were all saying that it was kind of dog shit in comparison to the past, but I think given COVID and everything, I thought it was a really good
it's probably
opening.
hard to organize something right now.
Yeah.
Was it that one Worlds they got like a K-pop group or something?
They seem to do that almost
KDA,
every
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
They brought KDA one year.
They brought them twice, right?
I think they did do it twice.
I think they did twice.
And then they did True Damage one year.
Oh yeah.
The True Damage one I liked more, honestly.
Did you like the Imagine Dragons one?
I low-key like the song for Arcane.
The song was...
Dude, the song is good. The opening song, yeah.
Like, all the music they've put into Arcane so far, I think, has been, like, straight fire.
Are you caught up to, like, episode 6 or whatever it's now?
Yeah, I stayed up until 6 a.m. watching it.
Oh my god.
That's why I got here late.
You could have watched it in the morning today.
No. It came out at 3 a.m. my time, so I wanted to watch as soon as it came out.
Yeah, also the timing is weird. Like, it's midnight here on the West Coast, but 3 a.m. on the East Coast, which is like a really weird time to release episodes.
Well,
Yeah.
Usually they do it the other way around, or it's 12
12
a.m.
Eastern.
Yeah.
The Eastern audience, I guess. It's
Yeah,
like
I guess Europe. It's
8
like a
o'clock.
little bit better for Europe, maybe too. It's like 9 or 10 a.m. for them.
Western Europe. Yeah.
back when they were when I was like super into when My Hero Academia like season 2 or something was coming out, they were doing like the simul release thing for it. So like when it released in Japan on like Saturday night or whatever, it like dropped on like Funimation at the same time here, and I would like get up at like 6 a.m. to watch it. That's the
Is the new
closest.
season good?
It's good. I think I'm like a little burned out on it though. Like I basically am just like coming at like waiting a few weeks and then doing like a batch of like 4 or 5 episodes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still good. I mean, like I think it's kind of like past its prime, but it's still a good show. Anyway, welcome to Game Busters, everyone. That's right. We've already been recording.
Oh.
We're in the podcast.
We are in the podcast.
Yeah. So this is a podcast from GameLuster.com. If you are new here, basically every week we pick a different game or a franchise, and we just sort of dive into it and talk about the development and the history and the legacy. And we just find something that's topical, ride that sweet SEO wave. So I'm Nirav, and I'm your host, and I'm joined as always by my Amazonian co-host Alyssa.
Hello, hello.
Is there like an Amazon equivalent in the League universe?
I don't know. I would maybe equate Sivir or something to an Amazon, but I'm not even sure doing that is right.
All right. Well, we are today joined by our expert jungler, Nikhil.
Yeah, I don't jungle much, but that's okay. I can be the expert jungler.
Yeah. And our Teemo main, Matt.
I'm a jungle top main, so Teemo is in there.
Okay, I'm mid ADC, so we almost have a full team.
Yeah.
I support bot, so.
Oh, okay, there we go. We got it.
You're a mid laner.
All of these words mean nothing to me. So we're gonna just kind of run around quickly for an intro, and first of all, let me say my voice is like pretty blown out because my friends and I went and did karaoke last night, and I did "Welcome to the Black Parade" as our big finisher, and it just destroyed my whole throat. I was like, I don't know how Gerard Way does it.
That sounds like so much fun. Oh my god,
it's extremely good. So anyway, I am weak of voice, but I'm trying to drink some coffee while we're doing this. Strong of spirit. But anyway, yeah. So let's roll around and what are we playing this week? So, Nico, what have you been playing recently?
Well, League. Got back into Rocket League a bit this week with some friends. That was good, and I guess I haven't played much outside of that.
Trying to get back up to GC.
Yep. All right, Matt, what are you playing? Anything except League of Legends?
Besides League, I was gonna start playing Neo, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then Justin bought some other indie game that he told me to beat, so I'll just play that instead.
Did he buy you a game too?
Yeah, he bought me The Messenger.
Oh shit!
So okay. I'll try that out.
Our friend Justin bought during D&D the other day. He bought me Owlboy like on Steam. It just like appeared in my library, so I guess I have to play it.
That was nice of him to buy you
a
game.
I feel like it's almost more of like a blackmailing tactic in our friend group at this point. Like
yeah,
Like I remember, like I was like trying to like make Ryan play Nier Automata, and then I was just like, "Fuck you," and I bought it for him. He's like, "I guess I have to play it now."
Was it you who bought me as well, or was that Justin again?
I think Justin bought you Nier Automata.
Okay. Then I played through A, and that was it.
Yeah, fuck you. You've played 1/5 of the game, and you're like, "I'm good."
That's enough of that.
So, yeah, Matt, what else are you playing? Anything else, or just that?
I was gonna replay Skyrim, but since the update and SKSE is kind of shitting on me right now, I cannot play it. So it's just League in the Messenger.
Yeah, I've been playing since I have Game Pass. I was playing Forza Horizon 5 a little bit. It's pretty fun. I think it's about as good as a racing game can be, which is like maybe not my favorite. I don't think I understand racing games.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
really
like-
a huge fan of them.
You know, you like drive the car good, and I was like, all right. I kind of started to have fun when it was like, I have like our Discord server. Like we have a bunch of people who are like friends on Xbox, and so what it does actually when you're like just doing like single player is that it just like randomly attaches your friends like tags to like other cars, which is actually pretty fun. So like you can kind of be like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna win, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
like
think the aesthetic appeal is there, like with car games.
Yeah, it
I'm
looks-
just not a car person, so it's hard.
I'm not a car person yet. It looks gorgeous, and I think I found a good place for it. Like, because I like am playing Forza like on my like main monitor, and I'm just like watching a YouTube video on the other one. It's just kind of a nice chill out thing.
Okay.
I don't think I get why it's the highest rated game of the year. I guess maybe I'm missing something.
Maybe so.
But other than that, I've been continuing Guardians of the Galaxy, which is surprisingly super good and like honestly getting better as it goes.
I need to play it now. Like,
Yeah, I
seeing
still
the clips
highly
that you
recommend it.
posted.
Like everyone I've seen who's played it is like, this is one of the best games of the year. Like it should not be. They even referenced how bad the Avengers game was in it, which is exciting. Yeah.
Good. Call
That's
them
very
out.
Guardians-esque.
Yeah. I think I'm actually starting to like these characters more than the movies, which I like the movies a lot. But I don't know.
I'm feeling weird things about Chris Pratt right now. I don't know that I like him very much.
Well, yeah, I've got. I love when my favorite part of Guardians of the Galaxy is when Chris Pratt looks directly into the camera and says, "Man, I hate Mondays."
The occasional Mario voice, I
Yeah.
assume, must come through.
Yeah,
Why does he have to have all of these iconic voices? If he's gonna have any, just give him.
he's gonna
Garfield.
It's like we have like maybe 10 weeks at most before he's announced to be voicing Bugs Bunny or something. Like, anyway, so yeah, I've been doing that, and I did start up a new Skyrim run, obviously with the anniversary edition. But like Matt said, the SKSE is broken, which should be fixed in like a week or two. And
Yeah.
so I installed a couple of mods from like Bethesda.net, you know, the ones that work without SKSE to just like quality of life stuff. And there's obviously like the 500 new Creation Club things that are built into the anniversary edition, which are cool. So I already tamed a wild horse, which was new. That's kind of cool that's built into the game now.
Slowly transforming into a horse girl.
Slowly, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of neat. You can like find wild horses and like tame them, and then like take them to a stable and like register them and stuff. It's actually exactly like Zelda. I think that's probably where they got it. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it's been good.
Is there a Thomas the Tank Engine mod installed, or?
It's not already installed. You have to do that yourself.
Ah, okay.
What is the name? By the way, I don't think we mentioned this on the last episode. The name of that mod that turns all the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine is Really Useful Dragons.
What?
Nice.
What do you mean useful?
That's the name of the mod. Is Really
Oh, that's
Useful
the
Dragons.
name of it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like the Mudcrab Top Hat mod.
Yeah. What is the name of the Macho Man Randy Savage one?
Oh, for the dragons?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, let's get into League. So
Okay, so we're not talking about games I
No.
played.
well, I know what you've been playing. It's Apex Legends and then League of Legends when you're not playing Apex.
Damn,
Legends.
I am predictable. Kind of sad.
It's because you're playing the same games every week.
I know it. I haven't gotten tired of them yet. I will say I did watch one of my friends play Hellblade on her
Yeah.
stream, and now I really want to play that one. So maybe I'll go play that.
That's a good game. It's like a really emotionally powerful game. If you want like a really strong narrative, I think like the second one looks like it could be like legitimately like mind blowing. They put out a trailer for that.
It was very intense to watch because I mean, like I was literally just watching my friends' reactions to her playing.
That's one of those games you got to like lock yourself in a dark room alone when put on the headphones and everything.
You have to mentally prepare for it. I feel like
it is
prepared. It might fuck you up.
It is a really cool. I think it's hard to blend action and horror like in a way because like if you're able to fight back to the monsters like effectively like that, it's hard to like blend it with the horror well. But like that game does it really well because like your character has psychosis, and so like the things that she is seeing and hearing are like not really there sometimes. But like you're also like fighting. You're like in hell, so who knows?
Yeah,
it's a really cool concept. It's like this woman whose husband dies, and she like fucking breaks through the laws of like time and space and like just like descends into hell to like rescue him. And like as she like goes through hell, she like loses her mind slowly, and like every time that you die in the game, like you die a little more overall, like there's like a permadeath thing. And so like less of your body like comes back each time.
Yeah, the way that I was interpreting it was that she was schizophrenic or something of that nature. I mean, like the way that I was looking at it was like, I guess like historically, like in the past, like religious figures or seers or people under those sorts of roles typically were mentally ill in some fashion.
Yeah.
And I kind of read it that way, but I mean, pairing both together I think makes sense.
Right. Yeah. They've specifically talked about it being a study of a psychosis, and they had like actual psychiatrists work on the game and everything to replicate those symptoms. But like, yeah, that's why she has 100 voices in her head all the time. It's a really interesting concept because you basically have all these voices in your head, and like some of them are trying to help you and some of them are trying to kill you, and like you can't tell which ones are which, but they're always telling you what to do. Anyway, it's a really cool game. Check it out. All right, let's go. I'm gonna die.
No, choose life.
I'll choose life. Okay, so I'm going to rest my voice for a second. You guys, please pitch me on League of Legends. This is a game that I've installed one time, and I've played 2 matches of.
I feel like my introduction for it would be fairly similar to the introduction we did for Apex a couple weeks ago, which is that if you want to be called a slur, or I guess just generally have a okay time, I guess, playing the game, you play League of Legends. I have a lot more fun when I'm playing with a 5-stack, like of people that I know. So I will say that I cannot play solo.
Okay, so like, pitch me on what is this game though? Like, why is it fun?
So like, it's 5v5, 3 lanes that you go into, right? And then there's the jungle. There's 5 roles. One called the jungler. It's a PvE role for the most part. You kill monsters in the jungle to get levels. Every other laner has to be in lane, killing these minions or getting kills at the same time. The jungler's unique in that he is not registered to a lane, so he can go anywhere and gank, essentially, go kill them. Objectives. So like, it's stronger by getting gold, level up, get stronger. Sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, you could just not do anything wrong with how ahead you are, so. And then destroy the enemy's base, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say like another thing about this game, there's like a big, mechanical component to it, obviously. Being able to press all your buttons correctly and at the right times, and knowing when to do so. But there's also like a big strategy and teamwork component to it. And those 2 things like come together, I guess, to make the overall experience. And both of them are like really in depth. It takes like years and years to really understand the game.
Yeah, I'm currently, I think, a level 26, and I'm still having a difficult time learning how to play correctly. The buying feature is kind of something that I haven't done before in a game, so that's something that I'm still trying to work on understanding, because you have to understand basically what each of the items do when you buy them, and like what works the best for your role. So
you have to understand what it's best for you and what's the best against them, and might go with your team.
Yeah.
It's like, and items change every year, so it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like when I started playing in like season 2, there were, I don't know, 50 champions or something, but now there's 150. And like part of being able to play this game is knowing what all the champions do.
interactions
Yeah. Because you're not going to face the same 5 champions every game. I mean, you'll see some more than others, but eventually you're going to have to learn what all the
Each one
champions do.
does. Yeah, like I joined in season 2 as well, so I like know the game pretty well. And they just released a champ called Viego where you can possess champions like when you
Yeah.
kill them. So I'm like, oh, thank God, I can actually play this guy normally.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, I can kind of get what everyone does.
Okay, so if anyone listening to this is not familiar with League of Legends like me, you're already very lost. You all did a very poor job explaining this game to me.
Okay, it's a multiplayer online battle arena, so it's
Okay.
MOBA. If that helps at all.
All right.
I've played 2 MOBAs in my life. I played League and I played Smite, and
So
So
fun.
basically, you're on a big map, like Matt said, with 3 lanes. You have a team of 5 people, and the objective is to get through these turrets on the other side. Each team has turrets. You have to
Uh-huh.
kill those and continue breaking those down as you progress onto their side of the map. And then the objective is to get all the way into the back of their base and destroy their nexus, which is basically just a big structure that you can hit and break.
It's like your home base, essentially.
Yeah. So that's how you actually win the game, is when one team destroys the other team's
Mhm.
nexus in the back of the base. And to do that, you have to get through all of the turrets in the way. And turrets, they're very hard to get through. They have a lot of health. They shoot you as you try to hit them. So that presents a whole nother strategy component
Aspect.
there.
Yeah.
there's a lot of give and take in League, and I feel like very seldomly do you have like one team that kind of just like completely dominates the other.
Yeah.
Um,
Those games feel fun to play on if you're on the winning team. Not so
yeah,
much
no,
on the
for
losing
sure.
team. It's like, wow, we just suck.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, basically, like we said, it's like a 5v5 MOBA. It's like an isometric view. And I think I saw at last count there's 155 characters. Is that right?
Yeah, something
Something
like
like
that.
Something like that, yeah.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to learn.
Yeah, they had like phases in the last, not recently. I feel like the last couple of years they released like, I don't know, 3 or 4 champions a year, but in the years prior they would do, one every 2 weeks. They would have like crazy release schedules.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
my
like
God.
like especially like season 2 to 4.
Yeah.
It was just like once a month almost at that
Yeah.
point. Even
The last
more.
couple of years, it's like every 3 or 4 months they release one new one. So it's been
Yeah.
really slow.
And they're
which is
reworking champions
Yeah.
as well. which
Yeah,
is
they
good.
rework the older ones because there's a lot of power creep. So basically, like the new champions that get released are much stronger than the old ones, so they have to rework
Yeah.
those.
Like I literally said, Viego, you can possess every champion, so you have to know every champion basically, right?
Yeah,
And then like the old champions is like, he runs at you and he throws a boomerang, and I guess and then she attacks the wave, and it bounces, and that's her kit essentially. Very simple.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna run through the development and then the release and then the post release work they've done on the game, as well as with Riot Games some stuff. So so Riot Games, of course, the creators of League of Legends, was founded by 2 people, Brian Beck and Mark Merrill, who are known as Rise and Tryndamere, I think.
Mhm.
yeah, those are 2 of the original champions in the game as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I think those were their like gamer tags.
yeah,
or
that's like
whatever.
their tags, I guess.
Yeah. So they were roommates at the University of Southern California, and both were business majors, and they bonded over a shared love of video games, obviously. They kind of believed that too many video game developers had diverted their focus from game to game too often, because they kind of had this idea for an everlasting game, like one that like people don't stop playing. And so at the time in like 2003 or 4 when they were in college, like, that wasn't really a thing that existed.
Mhm.
So do you guys know Dota, obviously, which is short for Defense of the Ancients. This was a mod essentially for Warcraft 3, was it? Yes.
Yeah, it was Warcraft 3.
For Warcraft 3 that basically almost not created, but it's definitely established and grounded the idea of a MOBA, a multiplayer online battle arena. And so their love of that mod made them come to the realization that they could make something like that, and instead of just releasing it, they could just update it like constantly, forever, for the rest of eternity.
Mhm.
And so they said they drew inspiration from Asian video game designers who had been already doing that. A lot of Asian PC games had been doing that already, just none of them that had made their way over to the West to basically go free to play. Because I mean, like a console slash PC whatever kind of game like being free to play at that time was just like completely unheard of. That wasn't a thing. So Beck and Merrill had this idea for this spiritual successor to Dota. So it was called, I think it was called Reign of Chaos, it says, was the mod's name. But basically it required the players to like buy Warcraft 3 and then, just install the mod with it.
Oh, so Reign of Chaos is like, well, it's Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos.
Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they actually held Dota tournaments for students at the University of Southern California. And so Beck and Merrill organized this Dota tournament, and they're what they did this as like secretly they had this ulterior goal of like whoever won the tournament they were going to hire to be their first employee at Riot Games.
I love that.
And the winner was this guy named Jeff Jew. His last name is literally Jew, so I mean don't come at me for that. That's his name. I do not know if he's Jewish.
No, that's like an Asian. I know some people with that last name. It's like an Asian last name.
Okay.
It's not related to the religion.
Okay. So, Jeff Jew was, of course, hired to Riot Games and became the lead producer for League of Legends. He was very familiar with Dota, and he spent a lot of the tournament teaching others how to play. So, they were really happy with how he worked during that tournament. He just kind of walked around and tried to help as many people as he could, and they hired him on, which I think is pretty cool and kind of funny. Like they like tricked people to like into making this like tournament arc, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They also Beck and Merrill also recruited two people from Dota: Steve Feek, who was one of the designers for Dota, and then Steve Meskin, who ran the support website for Dota. I mean, they really were like they really like went all in on this art like right at the beginning, and we're just like, let's just grab whatever people we can. And I mean, looking at how big Riot Games is now, like just remembering that it started with like 2 college kids is like insane,
Small indie company, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, that's the meme with League. Every time Riot does something that the player base like doesn't agree with or something, the meme is that they're a small indie company, so they don't have the resources.
Yeah. Or the more recent one is 200 Years.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, they released a champion that was on release was like really, really strong and overpowered.
It was like giga busted. It was like 1v5 at level 1.
Yeah, literally could 1v5 easily. And it was an 80 carry, which is supposed to be the weakest role early. But anyway, so when people were complaining about it, someone on the game design team tweeted out like, "Oh, our team has a combined 200 years of game development experience." So we're right here. So
yeah, we're right. You don't know what you're talking about.
So whenever you get killed by that champion or something else in the game, you say, "Oh, I got 200 years."
Yeah. It was so good at Worlds because Aphelios was picked as well. So I'd see Twitch chat blow up with like 200 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So their first demonstration of League of Legends was actually built inside World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 in the game engine. And it was completed and shown at the 2007 GDC Game Developer Conference. It absolutely flopped there. Everybody hated it. So their first version of League of Legends like absolutely went nowhere with potential investors.
Wow.
Yeah, they apparently like everyone hated the idea of a free-to-play business model, and they didn't understand not having a single-player mode. This game was actually the very first free-to-play game outside of Asian markets, so like that concept just didn't exist to people. And people were like, yeah, we just want to do like a retail release and then like, get a sequel. And they were like, no, there's not going to be a sequel. This is a game that is going to last forever. And it costs nothing. And obviously, like in 2007, this was just like, they were like, no, that sounds like a huge waste of money and time.
Yeah.
So eventually Riot realized that they weren't going to get any backing from the West, and they reached over east across the sea and landed comfortably in the lap of Winnie the Pooh when they reached an agreement with Tencent. over in China.
Oh.
Tencent would later go on to purchase Riot Games, but they did work together as independent companies for a few years before that. So if anyone doesn't know Tencent, then
You probably
I don't,
play their games.
yeah, you've definitely
Well,
played
actually,
some
definitely play
games.
their games.
Yeah, like they are
If you play
a
any game at all.
they are a gigantic media conglomerate, the size of which rivals a like medium-sized country.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
They it's hard to say, like almost everything electronic that exists has Tencent has had their fingers in somewhere along the supply chain.
Yeah.
They are one of the largest companies in the world, yeah. Anyway, they've tried to sneak in and they have bought like minority shares in like almost every like company and website that you're familiar with. Like
They're like the biggest company in China, I think.
they are for sure, and they're like third or fourth biggest company in the world or something. But anyway. Tencent also works directly with the Chinese government, and so there's obviously a lot of controversy, being that like Tencent sometimes works as an extension arm of the Chinese Communist Party. But they are technically an independent company, but they work closely with the Chinese government with on censorship, blocking things out of China, etc. We could probably do a whole episode on Tencent, but anyway, that's all you need to know about them. Look it up. So, of course, Riot, as I said, independent, like they were independent at this time still, and they reached an agreement with Tencent to publish their game and also to fund it. So, with that Tencent funding, they were given just a few $1 million, but of course, that was all they needed to get started. They hired up a team, and they announced League of Legends on October 7th, 2008 for PC. The original launch title was actually League of Legends Clash of Fates, but like after I think less than a week, they removed the Clash of Fates part.
I wonder why.
Yeah, they said they found it "quote unquote" silly.
Well, what I think is silly is they call their characters champions and not legends.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, then Apex Legends, they have legends.
Well, that was like in early League. So the League of Legends was actually like in canon. They made a canon reason for like you possess these champions or some shit, or like copies of them or something.
And there was like and everyone's lore was like, oh, and this is why this character came to join the League of Legends. Like they would always like have that in each character.
Oh, I see.
Then they threw it out. They're like, this is stupid.
Yeah. So we talked about this already a little bit, but League of Legends is pretty well known for receiving updates in patches, basically on a crazily like frequent schedule. In fact, like game balance patches at one point in the game's history were coming out every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, they still do, I think.
They still do. Okay.
Like once a month now.
Oh, once a month. Okay, yeah.
Or 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, there's something like 3 weeks or something. Yeah.
So there were previous games that of course would put out a patch here and there to make sure that the game stayed like balanced, but League of Legends basically made like keeping up with the developer changes like the meta of the game. Like part of the strategy of playing the game was like understanding the patches and stuff like that and being able to keep up with them. This is a note I found also that just for reference, at this point in time, Riot Games employs about 2,500 people directly. So small indie
company.
It'd be nice if they fucking reworked the client, man. Fuck.
Yeah, the client still doesn't work 10 years later, 11 years later.
Honestly, I would be like probably 10 times more likely to give League another shot if they put it on Steam.
Oh, it's going on Epic now. I think I heard.
Oh, that makes me less likely to open it.
Yeah.
So, of course, like I said, there's a free-to-play business model here. You can download and launch League of Legends for $0.00. You can do it right now. There are loot boxes in the game in which you can get mostly what people are trying to get are rare skins for their characters. Like every other online game, you get skins for your characters to use online. Yeah, so I mean, like I'm very familiar with Overwatch loot boxes, of course. Can you guys explain to me the loot box model for League and how that works with the skins and everything?
It's a way to get free skins, basically. So, this is like what, season 8, 9? I think 9. when they introduced loot boxes. You basically play the game as long as you're not toxic, because they have an honor level. So as long as you're honor level 3, which is like where you start, you can get these rewards.
It's pretty hard to go below that, I would say. Like
Yeah,
you have to like
you have to
be
get
pretty
banned,
bad to
essentially.
to drop below that.
Yeah, and you'll get 4 chests a month, I think, like once a week, and you get keys, like key fragments. You take 3 and make a key. You'll open these chests up, and they might have like skin shard or orange essence, which you use to make skin shards permanent, like to add it to your account. And the way to get skin shards is open chests, basically. So it's like, oh, you might get lucky and get a skin you like, but just save a couple more, you get skins.
So I have to collect
could
I have to collect pieces of a key to unlock a chest that has a piece of a skin in it.
Well, because you have
Yes.
to unlock the chest too. So you have to unlock the chest, you have to unlock the key fragments, and then create a key, and then you can open that.
So you
chest.
get
And
you
then
get the
maybe
key
you get
fragments just
something
by
you like.
by the honor
Oh.
system. So like if people are honoring you after games and you're not being toxic, you just get key fragments when you log in.
Yeah.
And then you get the chest by like actually playing well, or
Yeah,
someone on
you have to
your
get
team
S
playing well.
S class on your.
So yeah, after each game you get rated like S, A, B, C, D, however well you did, and then I think if you or someone on your team gets an S or higher, then you get the chest for that game.
Yeah, and you can
basically.
only get a chest for each champion once a season. So it encourages you to play all the champions, because like if you keep getting S's on Akali, I mean you're probably really good at Akali, but you can only get 1 chest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Does that not seem overly complicated?
No.
I find it a bit complicated.
I
I mean, I
literally
did
still-
just start playing the game this year, so like,
I
found it
mean,
a bit
I don't know.
complicated
Just
to
like
start
in Overwatch, like you level up and you get a box, and then you open it and skins come out. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the end.
Yeah,
of
they
the
have a separate
transaction.
thing with leveling up. They give you like champion capsules instead.
Because you don't get all the champions.
There's like 40 currencies in this game.
There used to
like
be
12.
more, I think. They combined it all into Blue Essence / IP, but yeah, they used to be split out to separate ones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old practices with League. Like before, your currency you get from winning games was used to buy room pages, which basically gives you like +5 damage or some stupidness. But it costs a lot of money, so you'd have to
Yeah.
grind and get the pages. But now they finally got rid of it.
Yeah, now the rune system is free. Like
Yeah.
when you start your account, you have all the runes, which is much better.
Much better.
I don't. Yeah, that people who started back when you had to buy rune pages will understand the struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, League of Legends also is kind of the game that established this practice where it's pretty commonly understood now that the more currency systems you introduce into your game, the less people are able to associate it with real money, and therefore will pay more money for less items.
Yeah.
Which I mean has worked. Obviously, look how much money they made.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, also they're says that they launched in August 2019 an achievement system purchasable with Riot points, which was widely criticized.
Oh, Eternals? Is that what they're
Yeah,
talking about?
Eternals. Yeah, you're talking about Eternals.
Yeah, so basically if you play like let's just say Rammus, he's the little ball armadillo guy who rolls around.
Mhm.
So you can buy an Eternal for Rammus and it'll be specifically for him. And it'll be like, oh, you turn into a ball and hit people. Every time you hit someone while you're a ball, you get 1 Eternal point. So it's like champion specific little achievements like that.
Or
Okay.
like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Is
How
Sonic in the
long you've
game?
been a ball, you know?
Well,
Go for
he's
Rammus.
basically Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah. He has
Okay.
a Bowser skin. So
Yeah, he has it from beta. I can't get it because you can only get it in beta, but there's a Bowser
Yeah.
skin, which is the coolest skin in the game.
Wow, that seems like something. Did anyone tell Nintendo?
no.
Mhm.
No, it's called King Rammus. Not there's no relation there, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
no
Bowser.
relation.
I'm gonna look for King Ramos skin.
Yeah, look up the skin. That's the one I've always
Okay.
wanted.
All I'm getting are pictures of a guy named Sergio Ramos, the king of the world at Real Madrid.
How did you spell it?
Ramos.
No, Rammus. Rammus.
Okay, yeah. Ramos is a player at the Real Madrid soccer team. It looks like.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos is also a soccer player, but that's yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's Bowser, huh?
Yeah, it's
All
just Bowser.
All right. So only around 4% of players have paid for cosmetics apparently in this game, which is significantly lower than the industry standard of 15 to 25%. This game is really profitable because 4% of their players, this is a gigantic player base, So just for reference, in 2017, League of Legends had a revenue of $2.1 billion. Yeah, and actually went way down in 2018 to 1.4 billion.
Oh wow.
In 2019 up to 1.5 billion, and then 2020 was 1.75 billion. So they're climbing their way back up, but 2017 was their like biggest year ever, and they haven't quite gotten back to there.
Was the drop in 2018 because of the lawsuits?
That is when the lawsuits began, but I don't know if that was why.
Well, I know in 2016 to 17, that was like
That was
when
the peak
people
of the
got
game,
hyped
I
for
think.
League as
Yeah.
well. And like that was like the one of few times where the North American team was actually good and like could compete internationally.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this game when it came out got mostly favorable reviews, but it's kind of a hard game to give a number to for a review, you know, especially before release.
Yeah.
It got a 78 on Metacritic originally, but a lot of reviewers came back, including like IGN and Polygon and other places, to kind of give it a reassessment later on. There was sort of a wave of in 2013 of journals coming back with higher scores for it after being like, okay, like the concept they presented makes sense. Like they kept it up for 3 years, like, you know. Also League has been nominated for Best Esports Game 2016 and 2017, and then it won for 2018 and 2019.
Yeah. Definitely better than Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, from the esports angle, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're finally here. I know what everyone wants to talk about with League of Legends. On toxicity.
That's what initially scared me from the game, honestly. That's why
It's pretty
I
bad.
waited so long to play it.
Right. So
I just play with fives. Like I just play with your team.
That's the best thing
Yeah.
you can do is play with friends.
yeah. So Riot Games has acknowledged this problem, but said only a small portion of the game's players are actually toxic. According to Jeffrey Lin, who is the lead designer of Social Systems, the majority of negative behavior is by players who are just occasionally acting out, in quotes. However, a study by the Anti-Defamation League has shown that League of Legends is one of the most common video games to experience harassment while playing, with 76% of total players reporting harassment in-game.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that sounds like the other 24% are harassing people. So there have been some system updates that were implemented to tackle this issue. So they, of course, have the basic report functionality where you can report your teammates or opponents. Tell me about the report system. Do you guys feel that works or no?
It does.
It does now. I think it's a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Like last year, they had a big thing with it where they tried to like rework it. So now if you report someone, it'll tell you, oh, the player that you reported has like received a punishment.
Right.
Yeah.
Things like that. So
It's usually like if you're good at reporting people, they'll take that in consideration. Like,
yeah.
so when you flag someone, right, and if your flag results in a ban or punishment, then it updates on there, and so they'll be like, okay, this guy has a good rating as a
reporter,
as a snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, if you false report people a lot, then your reports will hold less weight.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a Boy Who Cried Wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly.
Oh,
Which is,
interesting.
I mean, that's pretty good. You shouldn't because sometimes
right.
like, oh, this jungler never ganked my lane, I'm gonna report him and stuff.
Right.
You can't.
No,
basically
I
do
mean,
that.
like, even in Overwatch, like, people will, like, report people like, oh, this Mercy didn't heal me and I died. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just do better
No.
forehead.
Yeah.
It was weird
So-
too because League early on had the tribunal system. If you guys remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where,
I was actually about to mention that, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, go ahead.
So basically, it said players who met certain requirements were able to review the reports that were sent to Riot, and then players would, as a group, decide that the messages were a violation or not, and then an automated system would punish the person. Which sounds insane.
That's what
are
the
you talking
tribunal
about?
was.
I mean, it
yeah,
sounds,
that's what it was.
It sounds insane, but honestly, I think that system is kind of like, especially if like these players have like a history of being like, I guess, pretty good with their reports and are trusted players in the community. I think it's a cool idea. But
Yeah.
they
If
don't
you
do
were
it
if you were
anymore.
good, like I got invited to the tribunal, and one of the benefits was like, if you're successful in banning someone that like the majority agreed with, you get like extra currency essentially, which is like really useful early on when you have to
Right.
buy like 90% of the things.
Mhm.
So I found this to be insane. Lin, who we said earlier was the lead designer of the social systems, said that eliminating toxicity is an unrealistic goal. And their focus will be on rewarding good player behavior. So to that effect, of course, in 2017, they launched their honor system, which we have already described here.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about the esports. So League of Legends is, of course, the world's largest esport and is credited for the birth of that industry. Online viewership and in-person attendance for the game's esports events have outperformed those of the NBA, the World Series, and Stanley Cup. So people like it. In the 2019 and 2020 Worlds, Riot Games reported that 44 and 45 peak million concurrent viewers, respectively.
Oh, that's Also, all these worlds numbers are basically the West and Korea. China is a completely separate measurement that's not included. It's something
because
like,
then it'd be inflated
wow.
to stupid.
something like
numbers.
70 million. Add 70 million to that from China. I think
Jesus.
is the actual
Yeah.
number.
And the game's highest paid professional players have commanded salaries of above $1 million, which is over 3 times the highest paid players in the Overwatch League.
God.
Yeah, Perks got paid $2 million, I think.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, I should have mentioned this earlier, or I'll just stick it in here. But this game is still wildly popular. Riot reported that in 2021 in the summer that their average player count was monthly 115 million. So
Globally, yeah,
globally, yes, yeah.
yeah. 'Cause the West has the smallest server, so I'm like,
Yeah, for sure. This is obviously this game is huge in Asia, specifically in China and Korea, but
Yeah.
all over Asia as well.
China
Yeah.
is so big it has like 15 of its own servers,
Yeah.
and then they have a super server, which is if you're Diamond 1 or higher, you get invited to the super server.
So like the top 1% of the other 15 servers in China get invited to a super server.
And then
the
you
best
find a
players
top
go.
1% of that, which is
Insane.
like the pro players.
Yeah.
It's insane.
God.
There's a guy who's like, he plays Kiana. He's like a Kiana one trick, and Challenger China's on the super server,
Mhm.
and like the Kiana ban rate on the server globally is like 60% because they're like, yeah, if he gets it, he'll probably beat everybody in the game. Like there's people that good.
So tell me a little bit about how the esports work. Like, how are the leagues divided up, and stuff like that.
So yeah, they do it by geographic regions. So every geographic region will have its own tournaments throughout the year. So like there's NA North America, there's a Latin American one, there's EU West, Russia has its own, Turkey has its own, and then Asia, China has one, Japan has one, Korea has one. So basically, they all have their own separate leagues running throughout the year. And this is something that's criticized a lot. There's only 2 international tournaments every year where the regions actually play each other.
There used to be 3, which was like a little better when they had Rift Rivals, which is essentially
and
like
then they didn't do it like
then they just
last
stopped.
couple of years, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the top couple teams from each region will make it to the World Championship. And that's where the regions actually finally play each other.
I've
Do you
also
think part of
heard-
the... Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I can. I'm starting another thought, so if you can.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I think the reason they canceled Rift Rivals was essentially burnout, because pro players like play fucking like 14 hours a day, like 12 hours a day, when they're like competing at the top level.
Mhm.
So all these 3 international tournaments would usually be the top 3 teams like all year. So they just like
which is usually when they
14
finally have a break. Like the teams but instead they're competing at these
they're
international
competing again
tournaments,
and again. It's like 14, 15 hours for like 8 months, 9 months. And these guys are like 20, so
Yeah.
It's really insane. What I was going to bring up is I heard that the Olympics, like in upcoming years, are going to start featuring esports as a.
Yeah, that
As
is
a
something
sport.
they've discussed. Did they decide firmly to do that? I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but I think League definitely has a chance of being one of the games they would put into the Olympic esports. I can't imagine they would create sports to play at the Olympics or esports to play at the Olympics. So I imagine they'd have to use like games that are already being played.
The IOC said that in 2024, they will not be including esports, but they are still leaving the option open for 2028 for discussions on it.
Oh my god, come on. I want them to start putting esports in the Olympics.
if it was there, just Korea, China would be like destroying everyone.
They show League on ESPN sometimes, and I think like Overwatch 2 and other
Yeah,
stuff.
they have.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a TV deal, I think, for a while.
Yeah. So that's the first step.
Yeah, esports have definitely become a thing people like know about at the very least. So mostly it's because of the like insane amounts of money some of these kids are making.
Yeah.
You know, but you know there of course there's a whole dirty background, lots of drama in the esports world, and I get scared every time I try to step in there. Okay, so I'm gonna try to like make this sort of brief, but we do need to talk about it. The law. So you know how like how should I say this? There's been a gigantic, long, very complicated, dense history of sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits against Riot.
Mhm.
In fact, there are so many that it has its own Wikipedia page. And I could do an entire, not just one podcast, but an entire podcast series on all of the legal problems Riot has had with sexual harassment and discrimination.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey. So,
seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of big gaming companies currently.
yeah. It kind of seemed like they were the worst until all this Blizzard stuff came out, and now Riot's probably like, everyone forgot about us.
Thank God Blizzard's worse than we are.
So yeah, I tried to pick out some, I shouldn't say highlights, but like important parts of this history here.
ESPN.
Yeah, highlights.
Top 20 League of Legends scandal highlights.
So in 2018, this lawsuit stuff began when Kotaku spoke to, and this was Jason Schreier, I believe, at Kotaku, spoke to 28 former and current employees at Riot Games about what the working conditions were like there. There were a lot of, widespread issues such as female employees being overlooked when, the same ideas for male employees were readily accepted. Female employees being groomed for senior positions and then passed up when a new male employee was hired, etc. They described it as like a bro frat culture sort of a thing, which of course is a widespread industry problem, not making an excuse for them. But so other allegations included receiving images of male genitalia from colleagues and bosses, and email threads speculating on what it would be like to penetrate a female employee, and a list shared among senior staff members detailing which female employees they would sleep with. This was just in the initial report that Kotaku published. Mm-hmm. At the end of August 2018, Riot revealed that they were implementing some steps to change the internal culture, and they created a culture and diversity and inclusion initiative. They hired Francis X. Frey, which is the coolest name I think I've seen, as a senior advisor for diversity and leadership. And there was a class action lawsuit.
Sounds like a Far Cry villain.
Yeah, Francis X. Frey.
For real.
So in August 2019, the class action lawsuit was they reached a settlement, and Riot Games paid $10 million in damages to the women that had been employed at Riot Games over the last 5 years, which I think is not a lot of money.
I mean, in comparison to the amount of money they're making, definitely
it's
not.
Barely a drop in the bucket for them. Like,
Oh.
So California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing had been investigating claims of gender discrimination at Riot, and in August 2021, this lawsuit is still ongoing, by the way. Mm-hmm. DFEH asserted that Riot was interfering in their ongoing investigations by falsely informing employees that they could not speak to them directly. Although the court ordered Riot to issue a memo to all employees that they legally could speak to DFEH, Riot has yet to comply with this order. So basically what that means is that like the bosses at Riot Games told everyone that they weren't allowed to talk to the state of California while they were being investigated, although the state of California mandated that all employees were able to speak to them. Mm-hmm. So this is like an obstruction of justice charge too now.
Yeah.
So Laurent, who is one of the senior people at Riot, was sued by Laurent's former assistant on January 2021 for sexual discrimination charges. And he is that case is still open as well. So Riot opened an investigation that was headed by 3 members of its own board of directors,
And they found nothing.
and they found no evidence of wrongdoing with
course.
themselves.
When you investigate yourself, you don't find anything
Interesting.
wrong.
My last note there is just there are literally dozens of other controversies. You could read about this for like another hour. Don't work at Riot Games. So, skipping on, does anyone have anything to add to that? Like, I just think that needs to be talked about because it's such a fucking huge thing about that company.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, especially if you see on Reddit, Trinamir, which is Mark Merrill, he has some of like the worst takes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
like a CEO has.
Well, I'm
It's
not
like
surprised.
very tone deaf, like insanely tone deaf.
yeah. I mean, gamers like. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. You can.
No, I was just gonna say, like, gamers starting and running companies, like this is so common everywhere in the gaming industry. Like,
Yeah.
it's always the
Gonna
same culture.
Gonna say with a culture or like a community that I guess like initially was very that rejected women in that space. It makes sense and it's not surprising to me. It's very frustrating, obviously, to know that these problems are ongoing and that despite women having a larger like space in this community, it's still we're being rejected, and we're being rejected in very like just unpleasant ways. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
Their diversity initiative, by the way, I didn't have this in here, but the League of Legends team had when this started in 2018 had only 6 women on it out of literally several hundred employees, and the next year they reported that they had doubled the number of female employees. So yes, now they have 12.
That is insane. Oh, we
Yes.
doubled our number of female employees.
Also, none of those women were the same people that were working there the year before. All of them had quit.
Oh God, understandably.
Yeah, they're from what I've and I haven't investigated this recently, but I remember reading an article about this last year. That like there have been like maybe like literally like a like single digit number of women that have worked at Riot that have lasted longer than a year.
Mhm.
There's one girl who I feel really bad for. Like, she's a skin designer for I forgot one of the skin lines that did like I think it was Spirit Blossom, which is like
Best skin line, literally best skin line.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She was like the lead designer for that, and she's like, this is a good idea, people like it, and then they're like, no, this is a dumb idea, don't do it, this is shit. And then it was like one of the most popular ones in the game when it finally went out.
I have Ari Spirit Blossom, and I adore that skin.
Yeah, those are all good.
Yeah.
All right, so basically at this point, I want to open this up to you guys. Like, what other things do you want to talk about concerning League? Like, I know you guys could probably talk about it for like a long time, but like, what are some things you're interested in about talking about?
I mean, I really like the Arcane series. I think they've done a really good job so far with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me outline then quickly, like the side projects from the League universe. We can talk about that a little bit. So Teamfight Tactics on iOS and Android. That's an auto chess game, which is like a kind of it's not like an what am I trying to say?
It's like Plants vs Zombies, but 1v1.
That's a good description of it. Yeah, it's basically that. That's a mobile game. Came out in March 2020.
They actually do have it on the game client though on PC as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot they do now. Yeah, that came out later, right? On
Yeah,
Oh, the PC one was first, wasn't it?
PC.
Yeah, I think PC was first.
Oh, okay.
And then they made apps.
So,
there is Legends of Runeterra, which is their card game that everyone has to have.
That's pretty good.
I enjoy it honestly.
Yeah, I've not
haven't
played it.
tried
But I'm just like it's like every established franchise was like, oh, we have to make a card game, you know?
The card art
Yeah.
for it is really good. I appreciate
Okay.
almost literally every single card of
I've
that
heard
game.
it's less pay to win than Hearthstone. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
confirmed
it would have to be just by like existing. It would
You
have
get,
to
a,
be
you
less
get
pay
a
to
lot of free content in Legends of Runeterra, so it's
Okay.
I think it does really well with that.
win. Then there's of course League of Legends Wild Rift, which was the mobile remake.
Yeah.
That I did try that out actually. I played one match in there just to kind of see what it was earlier this year. Came out in March this year. Surprisingly works very well. Like they really worked hard to format it so it could be played on a phone easily. So props to that. That game is obviously getting a lot of play as well. So they call it Wild Rift because it's not actually the exact same game. They had to redo some of the systems and how things are set up in order to make it work better on mobile. And they devoted a lot of resources to it, and it came out well. It's pretty good response on it. Have you played the Wild Rift version?
I have. I think the animation on it is really fun. Like, it looks a lot better than obviously the PC game. I enjoy it. There's fewer characters, sadly, but it's still really fun to play.
Yeah, I tried a couple games of it when it came out. Then I was like, oh, why am I doing this? I can just play on the computer. But
right, yeah.
I thought it was well done. Like I was initially skeptical of being able to translate a game that's like so complicated with a keyboard and mouse to a mobile display. But yeah,
I imagine that's been helpful in Asia as well, getting people to play on their phone though too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's wildly popular over there.
So then, of course, they've announced League of Legends: The Ruined King, which is going to be a turn-based RPG that is coming out in 2022, coming to all consoles.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Viego's story, I'm so excited.
Yeah, Viego is the Ruined King, right?
Yeah. They botched his story in League so badly.
Because they released an item called Blade of the Ruined King like 5 years ago. That we never knew who the Ruined King was, and then Viego came out like this year, and he is the Ruined King. But yeah, I don't really know his story.
He is
an
edgy king.
I can explain it the best that I can. So basically, Viego was a like kind of spoiled prince, and he fell in love, I believe, with like a seamstress's daughter, and somewhere along the line, like the seamstress's daughter, like she died during an assassination attempt on him, and basically he like started this like war to get I guess it was like obtaining this like water that could basically like bring her back to life or something, or it was like a pool, and ended up just killing a whole bunch of people to get her into this pool. And then when he put her in it and she revived, she became this like terrifying like angry wraith who ended up killing him because he brought her back to life. And it's just such a sad story, but oh my god, it's great. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the game.
They should have called the game Go Viego Go. That would have been fun.
Go Viego Go Viego.
Anyway, so like we said, there is an untitled MMO coming in summer 2023. Which
that's going to be the best one, I think.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. I'll dip into that I'm assuming it'll be free to play. And then, of course, we have Arcane, which is the Netflix show that debuted just a week ago.
So good.
Which I will speak as somebody who doesn't know or care very much about League of Legends. It's a really good show.
It is.
Like I'm like already invested in these characters and stuff, and like the animations fit like fantastic. And
as far as like Western animation goes, like we don't get a lot of good.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Like, it's gorgeous, and I
honestly
love the style.
I was talking about it yesterday with my friends, and somebody was like, it's like, imagine if like, do you remember like Code Lyoko? It's like if that looked good. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is like that.
Code Lyoko was good for its time though, so like
look at it now. Go look at a picture of Code Lyoko right now.
I refuse.
Are those big forehead people?
Code Viego.
Okay.
They did a really good job of they like drop hints for like the longtime players and like fans of the game. Like when Powder, I guess no spoilers here, but like when he's like, oh, you jinx every mission you go on, and then everybody knows that she's gonna be jinxed.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Oh, it's like in
Jinx.
it's like in Gotham when like the character Jared, they're like, "Oh, you're such a joker," and then he like smiles at the camera.
Yeah, basically like that.
Or Dark Knight Rises when it's like, "Oh, your middle name's Robin," or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's like that.
Oh yeah. So it's like one of those little rewards where you're like, "Oh, I know what's gonna happen," type of thing.
But I mean, like they put like a lot of community memes in there, I think as well, like the cupcake thing for Caitlyn. I think that's pretty.
Yes.
Cute.
Oh, on the windowsill there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
She's just really good at making cupcakes. And
I think one of her skins is like she puts down traps, but they're actually cupcakes, and one of her skins.
Yeah.
Her default one is that. Yeah.
Oh, it's default. Okay.
It's default. Yeah.
Yeah. The I will say like just from a completely again like I know like there are a lot of people that like literally want nothing to do with League of Legends, and I understand because I'm one of those people. But like you should watch the show. It's a really good way to like get into the like the really good parts of this, which are like they have such good like character designs and like lore and everything like that, and without having to engage with the game.
Are we all caught up?
For 6 years.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh,
so it took 6 years to make this show, so they've put a lot of work and love into it, and I really do appreciate.
Yeah, you can tell that the people who wrote this like really cared, and like from from like I'm always like looking at stuff from like a critic angle too, which is like kind of shitty, I know, but like I'm like always thinking like, okay, did they like reward this character for choosing to do this? Did they like, you know, come back around on this build up that they did? Did they pay it off in the correct way, like etc.? And like I don't know, it just feels like this feels like a show that the script of the show feels like one they would use in like a script writing class. Like this is how you like make like a satisfying narrative, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Like I said earlier, I stayed up until 6 a.m. watching it today, so I really love it.
Oh, and also when Powder like has the perfect accuracy and the little shooting thing downstairs.
Yes.
Oh man, because like Jinx is a shooter character in the game. Like she uses guns, and then this is like baby Jinx. Obviously when she's like a child and she's already like really good at shooting. So that's another like small like payoff.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I have heard of the character Jinx. I did not know that Powder was good.
Yeah, she's one of the most popular. But yeah, she's just like a blue-haired, like crazy.
Right, I've heard of her though. Yeah. Is she like crazy looking in the game?
Yeah, she has like crazy face and crazy.
She's got like a Harley Quinn thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to her in the show, but
it'll be spoilers, but we'll see her fall basically.
Yeah, we'll probably see what happens to her.
Hold on, let me look at a picture.
I love her and Vi. Like, I love like when stories play on like sisterly relationships.
Oh, the end of episode 3 hurt so bad. I was like,
so bad. But I have 4 younger sisters, so like I really relate to that, and I cannot wait.
Oh, Jinx is in Fortnite as well.
Yes, they just added it. That's why League of Legends is on the Epic Store now. They have like a Fortnite crossover thing going.
They did a Fortnite crossover. They did an Among Us crossover.
They did,
yeah. I did see that they have an Among Us crossover yesterday.
Does that game exist?
Among Us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still. No, they just put out another big update for it. They added like a bunch of new roles. Like
I just haven't played it in a year.
Yeah, I would actually like to dip back into it with like a big group again because they added like 3 new roles. Like so you're not either just an imposter or a crewmate.
Okay.
There's like I don't remember what the other things are, but like it's like that's cool. I think they've added like another map and everything, and so I don't know. I haven't played it since like I think on Steam like the last time it says I played it was like August last year. So
yeah,
I don't know. I still have it installed though because it's like 4 megabytes. Yes, this was last played August 29th, 2020.
Yep, we're over the year mark.
Yep. Damn. It was a good game though. Anyway.
No, it was good for what it was. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I guess now we'll jump in and freeform if anyone wants to throw anything else out there.
I guess it's kind of interesting the game has lived so long versus like a lot of other games. I mean, games don't usually last like 11 years, which is that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other like Minecraft comes to mind that came out also in 2010. Has obviously lived very strong since then. I
mean, like I feel like the popularity has definitely had its ups and downs, but I think that they've been good at like enlivening it like every couple of years.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think it's at a high point.
Right, like even like World of Warcraft launched 2005. I want to say, is that right, Matt?
2004,
4 or 5, somewhere around there is fine. Yeah, but like, I mean that game has also like the kind of plummeted in popularity too, and it's had like its ups and downs, but like it's at a pretty low down right now. I don't know that
League kind of dominates the market in terms of MOBAs, which is what this game is. It's like Dota, right. Dota 2, and League. And I'm sure if like Riot made a League 2, like they'll just transfer everything over and people just play League 2. It's kind of like how there's a new COD every year, there's new Madden, there's a new 2K.
Yeah,
you know. The games last just because there's a newer version of it. League's always been
the same League. Game.
Yeah. I mean, the key to that is being that it's free. Like, you know, I think what was I gonna say? Like, there are like these. There are these games that like have like a lot of players. Like, but even the games that are like huge right now, like, or like even it was impressive when they revealed like in June or July or something. EA was like, oh yeah, like Apex Legends has 13 million monthly players. And you're like, holy shit, that's like a lot. They're doing really well. And then it's like League of Legends is in its own like sort of S tier, having 115 million people per month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like probably, I mean, I don't actually even know if that's, I'm trying to think now. I mean, like, I don't think there's any real way to measure this, but like, Minecraft is like the most sold game of all time and everything. Like, I don't really know that there's a way to like compare that, because like the Minecraft is like a paid game, but like if we're just talking about like how many people are playing it every month, like I think League probably trumps that, right?
Maybe Fortnite, or no?
Yeah, at its peak, Fortnite was higher, I think, but yeah, Fortnite's definitely not at its peak anymore.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was like 300 million or something like that.
Let me see here. In 2020, their average monthly players was 80.4 million. So
yeah, I think 2018 was like
now.
when Fortnite kind of like blew up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy how well this game is still doing. Like, it's probably going to keep doing it. I mean, like, it's sad when I look back at like what, I don't know, like Blizzard had something, when they got Overwatch out, like that first like year and a half, like they had something to rival League of Legends, and then like they kind of lost the thread, and then like 2.5 years ago they just stopped working on it and we're like, we're gonna make a sequel instead. And like I don't know, just like if they stopped working on League of Legends and we're like, oh, just wait for 3 years, we're gonna make League 2, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
I
don't know.
League's a lot more complex too, so it's like Fortnite's pretty, I guess, or not Fortnite. Overwatch is pretty simple in regards to that.
And I mean, like I think League is also not as graphically demanding.
Yeah, it's a lot more
true.
accessible. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, I know Overwatch isn't like intensive, but there's still a lot of more computers out there that'll handle League over Overwatch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, Overwatch also has the benefit of being on consoles too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that like there was a time when like I think Overwatch could have become like a thing to like could like last like this, and like they just really lost the thread somewhere, which kind of makes me sad. But I don't know. There are other games that are doing like really well. Like I have to actually check this. Let me see how many.
I think if Overwatch released a campaign mode, honestly, it'd still be.
Well, I mean, that's what they're trying to do now, but like, there's just
I mean,
too
it's
late,
like
right?
Too late. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh shit. Okay, never mind. In October. Okay, I spoke too soon. Excuse me. In October 2021, Xbox reported that Minecraft had 141 million players.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah, try to catch up, League. You still got a way to go. Minecraft is still the king. Oh wait, is Roblox?
Oh yeah, Roblox might be.
Hold on.
Bigger.
Oh Jesus, let me check.
Roblox is free, isn't it?
Oh my god. Oh.
What Roblox?
Yeah, Roblox had 202 million monthly active players.
I think every person under the age of 18 in the world plays Roblox.
How? Like, what is Roblox?
It's like,
does anyone know what it is?
It's like Gary's mod in Minecraft is the best way I can describe it.
That's a good description. I genuinely I always forget how big that game is, and then I just like it just fucking blows me away every time.
I went to my buddy's house one time, and like all his 3 brothers were just around the they're around the dining room table on their laptops, just playing Roblox together. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I believe it. It's like I don't know. There's always these games that you forget. Like, people can in the U.S. and like all over the West, like continually forget that PUBG has like hundreds of millions of players in other countries, like especially India and China. Like, PUBG is still huge. It's still like one of the kings there. Like in India,
Mobile,
in India, like PUBG Mobile, I think they reported has 60 million monthly players. Just the mobile version in India. So it's like they're doing okay over there. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see what the top games are like in different places in the world. Like, pretty much like the most played games here are always Minecraft and GTA 5. But like, it's cool to see other stuff pop up elsewhere. How's Genshin Impact doing?
Oh, I forgot about that.
They're doing well, I think. Because last time I've seen, like when they do their new characters, you have to gamble on.
Yeah.
Like one of the most recent ones was like broke a record or something. So I'm sure.
Oh wow.
They're doing okay. Maybe not in players, but like in income.
In money, definitely. Yeah.
In October, they reported 53 million monthly players.
What was it at the start? Like 100? 200?
I'm not sure how many was at the beginning. Let's see, but that's still pretty good. Wow, they've had 40 million downloads on mobile. It's pretty good.
Huh.
Anyway, so yeah. Don't know if anyone doesn't have anything else to say. We'll kind of like roll out of here.
I hate League of Legends, but I still play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of an abusive relationship, I would say.
Yeah.
I can agree there.
I know I should leave, but maybe the client will change.
For...
Get better
Have
next
you?
time.
Oh wait, has anyone played Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm? They made their
No, I
own
never
tried it.
their own MOGA.
That's
you
fun.
have? Yeah.
It's a lot simpler because there's no items. It's just champions,
Mhm.
and like it's only focused on the experience you get instead of gold as well. So
Yeah, it's like tracers in it.
yeah, it's buried entry is a lot easier, and I think it's a lot simpler. They have like different. They basically had different game modes. Like you'd load in, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is the game mode. This is the gimmick of the map," and get to the end like League and destroy it.
Right. I've heard a lot of people say they like preferred it because it is simpler, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
But I also don't like. I don't know. The Blizzard shut down Heroes of the Storm like a year and a half ago. Not shut it down, but rather said there weren't going to be any new feature updates. Like it's just like stability patches now.
Yeah, it's like
And they shut down the esports league and everything because they poured all the money into the wildly successful Overwatch League. Blech.
Yeah, I guess I would,
Wildly
like it's
successful.
League probably has like of all the popular games and ones we talked about, League is probably the highest learning curve by
Oh,
far,
for sure.
which is I guess it's rewarding in a way for people as they learn the game.
the barrier to entry is so annoying.
It's a abnormally high barrier of entry to play this game.
Nicole, you played with me the 2 matches I played, right?
Yeah, I think so. A couple
Yeah, I
years
think
ago,
yeah, it was like years ago. I did not enjoy it.
It's
all 4 of us
pain.
should play after this.
Oh man,
That-
Do I have to download the Riot client?
You might have to.
I actually don't know if it forces you to. Because
I
that
think
like,
now,
just came out like a month ago.
yeah, I think now they all launch through all their games launch through the same client. Maybe I think they made something.
Okay,
like
I mean I have Valorant installed, so I don't know if that.
oh, it's probably
Oh.
that. Yeah,
I
it's
guess
probably
my
that.
computer did download it. Dang. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that my computer downloaded
Oh.
the Riot client.
I guess we should also mention Valorant, maybe, but that's just another game by Riot Games that is not in the League of Legends universe.
Yeah, we could do
Um,
another episode on Valorant.
We
at some
will
point.
do a Valorant episode later, yeah, for sure.
That's actually
which-
pretty popular esport as well. at this
Yeah,
point.
it is. Matt, you can be on the Valorant episode too.
I've been on 3 episodes in a row. What the hell?
No, we're not doing it next week.
Okay.
I'm definitely more of an FPS person, so I like
I'm alternating games that Alyssa cares about with games that I care about.
Nice. When you guys get on the World of Warcraft podcast,
Yeah, we'll do that eventually.
don't invite me.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, well,
So-
don't invite me either. I
Yeah,
played
well-
WoW Classic for like 2 weeks when it came out, and that was it.
Oh no, Matt, how many hours do you have in WoW now?
I think last time we checked one time and it
Hey,
was
we
like
checked.
8,000 or something. I don't
Yeah.
I
know.
think I have. I'm trying to remember how many I have on League. It's probably something like that.
8,000 hours. No, it was more. No, it was less. It was like 7,000 something. Because I looked at it, I was like, I know it was under 300 days.
I've unfortunately not broken 1,000 hours on any game yet. I have like 880 something in Overwatch, but I got so close, but that's too late.
Yeah.
I've
I
got
probably
to
have
have
like
at least
4,000.
I've got to have at least 1,500 on Apex.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me find. Alyssa, actually, do you know about Grace's time with Crusader Kings too?
No.
Yeah, I think you can go to her Steam profile and see this, but Grace has 4,200 hours on Crusader Kings 2.
What?
Yeah,
Oh no!
How?
she likes it. It's a good game.
Oh my god.
If you ask her about it, she's like, "It's a good game." I'm like, "I guess it is."
Damn, and I thought I was obsessed with the games that I play.
Yeah, well, I think the only 2 games in her whole Steam library are Crusader Kings 2 and Stardew Valley. So,
Fair enough.
anyway, okay, cool. Well, let's wrap it up and get out of here. Matt, thanks for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug or talk about at the end here?
No, but I have reviewed League on the GG app. It's really good.
Nice. Come check that out. What did you write about it?
I just said it's good.
It's good. It's all. It's alright.
Yeah, come
All
look.
right.
Come look at it. All right, Nikhil, you have anything you want to plug that you did or want people to see?
I did not do anything. So no, I guess I don't. But
Okay, great.
happy November. Thanksgiving's coming up.
You're right. Alyssa, how about you?
I'm getting ready for Katsucon, so I guess look out for new
Okay.
cosplays.
Where's that one?
That one's in DC. I'm gonna have a Bloodhound cosplay ready by February. Although
Okay.
I'm not making that one. I'm commissioning that one, but still.
When is the Katsucon?
It's I think it's Valentine's Day weekend.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so yeah, let me see what I do. If you go to GameLister.com or YouTube.com/GameLister, you can find our stuff there. I just put up a video review of this game, Bright Memory Infinite. I am the only person in the entire world who liked it, apparently. It has a horrible review score. I really enjoyed it. Go watch my review, I guess. Hold on a second. Let me just pull this up for you. Like, this game did so fucking badly. I just literally can't believe.
Is it worth? Because I bought it under your recommendation. Now I'm starting to regret it.
Why? I didn't tell you to buy it.
No, I believe you over these reviewers.
All right. Look at this. Look at the scores here. Not doing so good. Anyway, I liked it. If you want a fun first-person shooter campaign, it's not super long or anything, but I really had a good time. I think it's really creative. It's fun. Go try it out. Yeah, other than that, I guess that's it. Please, find us on Twitter at GamebustersPod. Tweet at us. Tweet your favorite picture of Viego at us.
There's a lot of good fan art of Viego out there. We'll say.
Tweet your favorite safe for work art of Viego at us.
God, that one where he's stepping on that person. I wish that was me.
Yeah, and so I was gonna say, for us to end on, if anyone has a good sort of their favorite voice line they want to throw out from the game.
Mumu is the sad mummy. And when you click him to choose him, he says, "I thought you'd never pick me," and it's really sad.
Okay, but I hate playing against a Mumu, so I can't actually feel bad about that.
Oh, shit, there's a Ziggs voice line I used to be able to do. I don't know if I can do it anymore.
You can, yeah, just do it. Just do your best shot.
I don't remember which one it was. I think it was This'll be a blast.
Oh yeah, that's
when you pick him.
Ziggs,
Yeah.
That's sort of the Junkrat character.
He's like
he's a bomb.
character with
Yeah,
bombs.
Okay.
Bombs.
I've noticed that all of the League characters, almost every, I think every Overwatch character is I found them in League somewhere, just looking for
I guess Wrecking Ball is Rammus, the rolling guy we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Is his name Rammus because he rams into people?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe, I guess. Yeah.
That makes
sucks.
sense.
His only voice line is okay.
Yeah, literally, he says okay. That's all he says.
Somebody just give me a clean okay, and we'll cut it.
Okay. But anyway, so when people were complaining about it, someone on the game design team tweeted out, "Oh, our team has a combined 200 years of game development experience. So we're right here."